That feeling you get when you pass by a beautiful blooming garden, like walking by this guy's house right here. Here is the guy who always brightens up the dark spaces, Master Gardener Ciscoe Morris.
Oh la la!
Happy Solstice, my
Happy
friend.
Solstice. I almost wore my Parker.
Oh, well,
It's below zero out there.
I know, it's so cold, but I did get a solstice crown. Producer Susie made me one.
That is
a little flower
so
crown.
Cool.
So while we talk about flowers, I'll wear my crown. Hey, so speaking of which, the naked bike rides recently happened. Did you get to participate this year?
Well, I would, except for all the women just swoon and fall down when I ride by. So what can I do?
You know,
it's those biceps.
You know what? I think you did the right thing, you thoughtful thing, and stayed in the garden. And I don't know, you know, whatever you do in the garden is fine. It's your garden. But you know, naked gardening or not, you can still brighten things up with perennials, which is what we're talking about today. I know you love to work with these flowers. Why?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, perennials come back year after year. So you know, if everything goes right, they always come back. They attract all kinds of wildlife to your garden, and they're so beautiful too. Some are fragrant. They've got everything you could ask for. They're the best.
And they do come back, right? Because I feel like the perennials are a lot of work, aren't they?
They're not really that much work. You know, you gotta deadhead them and do some things like that, but I fertilize them maybe one time a year, and they just keep doing their thing. But deadheading is important, you know, for some.
Deadhead is important for them to grow successfully. Isn't it true that they only bloom for a short time, too?
A lot of them do, but all these ones I brought bloom all summer long.
Oh, well, all right, then. I'm glad that you did that. All right. So let's get started with looking at some of the ones you brought. This is
Helenium.
Okay.
And it's called Moorheim Beauty, and they're just covered with these flowers. Look at all the ones forming.
So pretty and wild looking.
And butterflies love these. And you know what's funny? This is a U.S. native plant, and yet the name Helenium is named after Helen of Troy. Now, why is that?
Why is
she
that?
She probably never even visited our country.
I would guess, I'd venture to guess that's a no. Interesting, okay.
I like it because it's tall. You could put it behind some other plants. And
this is salvia called Hot Lips.
Hot Lips is so good.
I like this one, Hot Lips.
Oh man, there are so many flowers on these. By the end of summer, this will be 4 feet by 4 feet.
Really?
And I cut it down almost to the ground every spring. Hummingbirds. I have to wear a hard hat if I want to cut some off to show the people at my garden talks.
Right.
Oh man, they love these. And the foliage smells nice too.
That brings me back to an important point about cutting off plants that are they're going to turn brown, they're going to die, but don't touch them until spring. I know this because somebody killed my butterfly bushes.
Oh la la.
They're dead. And Ciscoe said, don't do it. Don't cut anything off till spring.
Yep. And the birds, come and eat the seeds.
Yeah.
Of this one and that coneflower over there that we'll talk about in a second. So these are big butterfly plants with the cones.
I've seen this plant before. Is this do you not cut this down? Is this just a spring summer plant?
No, it blooms all summer long.
Okay.
And here's something interesting. When the blooms start to fade, you don't cut them off. You do this.
Just manhandled that plant, Ciscoe.
And then new ones will grow where you took it out of. Now, Alstroemery is the only plant you do that to. Don't do it to all your other ones, you'll kill them.
Also, I do know that these are great cut flowers, so you just put this in a little...
They last 2 weeks.
There you go.
Oh, all right. How's it look behind my ear?
I think that's perfect for you. We all have flower crowns today.
I'm going to challenge you.
Oh, yeah, let me get that in there. Good. All right, let me make sure that stays in. Okay, perfect. All right. All right, now we have, somebody recently, yesterday actually told me, these are not carnations, these are dianthus.
Yeah, dianthus. And so carnations are annuals, dianthus are in the same family, but they're perennials. Smell one of those flowers. You're not wearing socks, are you? Because
No,
they'd
'cause if I
have been
was-
rolling up and down after you sniffed that. Is that wonderful
This
or what?
actually will knock your socks off, literally.
And this blue foliage is to die for, and it's, you know, it really holds the flowers up high.
Yeah.
This is key lime pie, and it's a whole new, they're called the American Pie series.
Oh, okay. American Pie series.
They come in all
Look at
different
how
colors.
pretty and wistful these look. You should have these. All right.
And you know what about white flowers?
What?
They show up at night in the moonlight.
That's such a great point.
Great.
This guy full of the things. All right, we've got not much time left. We got to
Okay.
talk about this Prima saffron echinacea.
Yeah, so coneflower, butterflies die for these, and the birds eat the seeds when the flowers fall off, and they bloom and bloom their little hearts out. They don't always come back as well as you want them to, a couple of years, but if you have good drainage, maybe you'll get, you know,
Okay.
more.
If you are a first-time perennialist and you want to get started, what is the one thing you should know?
I think what you should do is take a little spot in your garden, like by the front door where people are going to really see it, and just, you know, pull out whatever's in there, put maybe a couple of shrubs, and then plant perennials around them.
Okay.
And, you know, try for contrast. If one's
Okay.
round, put spiky, all that kind of thing. People will give you so many compliments. The next thing you know, your whole garden is a perennial garden. You can't stop.
Full of people coming to visit. Thank you so much, Ciscoe.
Oh, la, la.
And thank you for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more of our content. You can always send us an email to share your thoughts. But most importantly, get out there and enjoy your new day. Happy solstice, my friends.